Hell to hell, shoulder to shoulder. Our boo getting older. Right. Umi and I closer than we ever been. She taking medicine, I can't do no settling. Nah, I got an opportunity to touch it. Ball in my hands, I just gotta hit the bucket.
In the older times, your time, it was more organized where if you want to do something to somebody, you had to ask permission, like more mob time, you had to talk, you had to like, people had to like, it was like family oriented, like, yo, that's such a cousin, it'd be a conversation, it'd be a one-on-one fight, or something like that.
Yeah, if somebody was respected.
It's respected,
yeah,
right.
It wasn't like organized crime would be or gangs would be. It was just people who, like, SOUTHPHILLY small, so everybody know each other, somebody related to somebody. And you really don't want to do something to somebody who may be related to somebody that you were cool with or you were friends with. So, like, who focuses that?
Right, who focuses that, yeah. So what I want to say is, now I feel like we don't have that, not only about the, like, you know, or the leadership, not even that. I feel like we live in a real emotional time where people don't even have critical thinking or know how to see past the moment and this big ego. So speak to us, because you're a well-respected life coach, so speak to us and to the youth and to the people about how to control your emotions so you can see things clearly, so you don't make a 3-second decision to mess up your life.
Right, so the key is, right, emotional intelligence, right, which they don't teach in our communities. Two things they don't teach in our communities, which is the downfall of our community: financial literacy, your relationship with money, and emotional intelligence, how you manage yourself and navigate through life and best practice. So that's why I got on the verge of me. I knew I was emotional type of dude. I was angry. I get angry and I can't be talked out of what I'm going to do. I'm going to react to my anger, right? And when I started my journey of personal development and growth in prison, you know, that's the one thing I want to tackle. I want to tackle my emotions. I want to tackle my anger, because I got in fights in jail. I got in fights in Holmesburg, you know, the worst prison. I almost killed somebody in Holmesburg. I hit him in the head with a pipe. You know, so I was like, this got to stop for me if I want to make it home to my son, right? So he became my why, you know, and I just understood mindset and connection to mindset, body, right? I didn't study this much in jail. I really worked with myself in jail. When I came home, now I'm in an age of information where there's nothing hidden. They used to hide stuff in books from us back in the day. Now everything's available, and we hide from the knowledge, right? So, now when I came home, I came on a mission to get back to the schools. Right? I want to go back to Barrett, Smith, the schools I went to, Childs, elementary schools, junior high schools, SOUTHPHILLY High. I wanted to go in there and start telling my story to a lot of young men and women that were facing the same dilemmas, the same traumas, the same challenges in life as young kids growing up in the inner cities, you know. And when I came home, I started doing that. But I started educating myself even more. So I took myself to school. I'm a high school dropout, right? I dropped out of high school in 10th grade. I got kicked out of Severn, I got kicked out of SOUTHPHILLY High. Then I left University City, the last school I went to. So I was like, I'm on this embark of knowledge, and just be studying the Quran in jail. You know, one thing the law says is that those who, basically paraphrasing, those who lack knowledge will live a life of hardship, and those who gain knowledge will live a life of ease. Right? So the majority of the things that I've done was because of ignorance, not knowing. Right? And just like anybody else, a lot of things we don't know. So if we don't know, then of course we're going to make a lot of mistakes, and then eventually the mistakes are going to add up and then catch up to us. And then some of us are eventually going to clock out, take ourselves out. So for our community, our young people, is to really, see, another thing too I learned about people coaching, right, is that we will attend to our physical trauma quickly and more frequently than we attend to our emotional trauma.
Build on that, what you mean by that?
So if you get a broken leg or arm or get a black eye, you're trying to patch it up, you're trying to fix it up, you go to the doctor's emergency room, get a cast in your leg. So you attend to that physical trauma. But emotional trauma, if you're feeling grief, if you're stressed, if you get anxiety, it's normalized in our community. So you won't really pay attention to it, you'll ignore the signs. So even the medical system today, when it comes to therapy, quote unquote, they give you a lot of coping skills, not healing skills.
Ooh.
Okay? Because the desire is to keep you hooked on the drug. They make money off of the black and brown community from what? Drugs and prison.
And lack of knowledge.
And lack of knowledge. Right, exactly.
full circle what you were saying. Okay, so basically you're saying that your emotions, well, people could handle their emotions more if they had knowledge.
Yeah,
They don't have to like understanding, and therefore they're more. You know, what's so funny. You're right. Yeah, I know you already knew you're right, but I can see it now because as a teacher, the children that don't get it, they be acting out.
Right.
The children that get the work, they behave.
Yeah.
And there's some children that really get the work, they might act out because I got it so easy. I'm bored because it's so easy.
Right.
Okay.
But see, the school system is so challenging because it's based on the curriculum, whereas though it's not a fit for every kid way of learning. Right. So I learned that too. When I had like 9 elementary schools I did poetry classes in.
Great point.
You know, and dealing with the kids in 2nd grade, 3rd grade, and 4th grade, and 5th grade, I noticed that people learn differently. Right? So some people are physical learners, some people are visual learners, some people are oral learners. You know, and you've got to figure out, especially as a teacher, on how you deliver the message in a way that they can receive it. I just put it out there and say, all right, get it if you can get it. That's what our schools do. They put it out there, and it's in textbooks and this and that, and just get it if you can get it. If you don't add up and you're a failure.
Oh, wow. Wow. I like perspective. Let me get your perspective on this. So, be South Philly, old South Philly, heavy Italian, heavy Cambodian, black people. And then now, post-gentrification, it's like a little bit of us, with a whole lot of white people now, right? But with a whole lot of white people came great new buildings, nice new parks and all that. What do you feel? And people were complaining about when it was happening, but when I drive by, I'm like, I think it looks nice. Less of us, but it looks nice. What is your opinion about post-gentrification in South Philly or in North Philly, period?
Well, we dropped the ball as black people. And, we own stores. We own our homes in South Philadelphia, and in Philadelphia, period. We had businesses, but those businesses started fading away because of the addiction of drugs, right, and things of that nature. People moving out the city, out of town because they don't want to be involved with all of the nonsense and the violence, and they're fearful of their own life. So they started selling their properties, started selling their homes, and that made it easier for these abandoned homes to be there, and then for people to say, look, let's do something with South Philly, since it's closer to downtown. I mean, we can just build houses up right here, $1 million houses, and make it efficient enough for people to move into town and get to New York by way of train, where they got to pay $1 million a year for their little apartment, apartment like this, right? They pay all this money for that, but then you come to Philadelphia, you can get a nice home, for half the amount of price you're paying in Connecticut, Boston, somewhere else, and commute on the train. You know, so the gentrification thing is for me, it's good. It's like a win-win, right? Because I think just our kids need to see different culture, right? Because they're learning from our culture, right? But if they knew they had a choice in the matter, some would be smart to choose differently.
And it woke us up.
Right. Yeah, it woke us up too.
What? Once they moved in and they changed everything, you came outside and you couldn't be comfortable doing whatever you did. I watched hustlers turn into businessmen.
Yeah.
I watched hustlers finally hustle legal. I watched hustlers get a job.
Yeah.
I seen it. Because they knew that it was over.
Well, yeah, it definitely is over. It's been over since the 90s, right? But it's their realization because they're coming up and thinking it's a lucrative way of doing it. But the thing is, too, you only know what you know. You don't know what you don't know, right? So as I say, it falls back to ignorance. But the first reality, the biggest problem that we have is the identity crisis. And because if you knew how ingenious we really were as people, I'm just talking about black people, but as people, how the Creator has set us up to win this world. He just didn't send us to the earth and said, make your way. No, he's like, if somebody bought you a house, a mansion, furnished, the mortgage paid all off, food, refrigerator filled up, all the clothes you need, all the shoes you need, and everything else in that house, in that mansion right there. And you go out there and you sit outside the whole time and begging for stuff. I need food, I need what? You never looked inside. Right? So we started looking outside, never looked inside. So just like our life, we keep looking outside. But like a person always asks me when I travel in the country, I do this big conference with these millionaires and stuff like that, and I speak, and they're like, how did you learn all that? In prison? I was like, no, I learned it in prison. They said, what books you read? He said, I'm not a real reader, I'm a studier, right? I said, but the reality is, the answer was all inside of me.
Alchemist is about. That's what alchemist is about. Keep going. Yes.
The answer's inside you. I mean, you can truly be in alignment with life until you're truly in alignment with your purpose, right? And the reason why people are crashing out because they're in the wrong lane.
Stay with me. I'm with you. So, crashing out, they're in the wrong lane. So the youngin. So like you said, people are I'm a little younger than you, but we got it. We like, okay, justification happened, we got it. The youngins, they're not even looking. They don't care. So they want to crashing out, and then now you have all these youth indictments. You have all these youngins that got switches, and the youngins are. It seems like they're falling, off the wayside. So shout out, people like Anton Moore and Ryan Harris that's trying to help out No More Foundation, Pastor Campbell, people that's trying to do their thing, but. It's like we get upset together, but some of the youngins are lost. So what did you want to say about? I want to hear your opinion on all these youth indictments, the drill scene, and the youngins feeling like they have no way, so they going the wrong way.
Well, I mean, of course, that's how you're gonna feel because you're gonna be lost. I was lost as a kid myself, right? So if you don't have nobody teaching you what direction to go, then you're gonna try to figure out yourself. I mean, and when you're looking beside yourself and you don't find it, you're gonna go outside yourself, like I said, right? And that's when you get attracted, you get influenced by the outside. So of course, it's just been passed down to generation as our age and before us, and then for that, and it's just escalating more and more and more because it's not being broken. The chain's not being broken. So with these young men, they're trying to find a way to make money. Ain't no money out there in drugs. In our era was drug money. You know what I'm saying? We was fighting over drugs. We weren't killing nobody unless it was over drugs. I mean, maybe a little arguments here and there, but mainly it was over money, right? So their way of getting money now is through rapping about killing people.
Their way of getting money now is through rapping about killing people.
Right. I mean, because you get more views. You can get and YouTube pays out, and Instagram pays out. So you get all these views. You know what I'm saying? And the lyrics ain't got to be that good. I mean, you ain't got to be really articulate to make some music with beats over top of it. You just got to tell a story.
And they're still only signing drill artists industry-wise. They're not signing no lyrical artists yet. They still haven't. I want to say names. They keep signing all these drill artists and all the negative artists. So yeah, keep going.
Yeah, see, because the whole conspiracy thing is with the country. Like, this country don't make no money. They don't export nothing. They import everything, right? So we don't really make no money, right? And this is what I realized when I was in jail. The thing is that America make money off of probably 3 or 4 things. One is prison, right? Imprisonment, which is modern day slavery and free labor, right? For businesses. Big businesses too. That's why you have guys like Jordan investing in his businesses. Imprisonment, incarceration, drugs, over the counter, and under counter. Right? Money off of that. What's the third thing? Drugs, money, and your sickness. Hospitals, pharmaceutical, right? Hospitals, treatment centers. That's why we have so many of them. Proliferation of treatment centers, ICUs, hospitals, and we're the sickest country. We got more hospitals than any country. But we're the sickest country. Why? Because they keep feeding you sickness through food, right? And then your mind. You are what you eat. So everything you're consuming in your stomach, what they feed you, that's why it's different when you go to a Child's or Barron, you go to the lunchroom, you see what food in there, you go to the suburbs, you see the food they got in there, it's different food, right? A different way of eating. Same with our markets, right? So we keep feeding you non-nutritional food, and nonsense, you're gonna wake up in some kind of way. They're gonna affect your mental, it's gonna affect your emotional space. And then you're going to diagnose you with ADHD and all other stuff like that because of the diagnosis they give you. I mean, and it creates more of the imbalance. So, of course, that's why you got to have teachers, you got to have parents that can steer and direct their kids in the right path by showing them first in practice and then theoretically teaching them certain things, right? And they had a combination of theory and practice together.
And I feel like the balance of feminine and masculine energy. And when you say theory and practice, and I was going to say, like, I feel like the youth also lack masculine energy.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah,
it's emotional space, man. It's very emotional. We have an emotional city that we live in, right? And not just blaming it on the women, because you really can't blame the women who trying to step up. You have to blame the men who wasn't there, right? So, and don't even blame the kids. The reason why the barbershop mentoring program, you came and met me at, with the guys. The reason why I started that barbershop mentoring program is because I was at the Enquirer, and one of the senior writers for the Enquirer said that these kids cannot change. You cannot help them, and things like that. They had a conversation around everybody, right? So I was like, how you know that? They can't change. He said, well, because the court, they go to court. The only reason why they go to these programs is they go to court and the court stipulated. I said, no, that's not the reason. I said, some of these young people really listen and they really want help. It depends on who they listen to. That's all. I mean, so I said, all right, I'm going to start a program in the barbershop.
Barbershop.
The barbershop. I mean, where ain't going to no church, you ain't got to the masjid, you ain't got to go to the rec center. You go right to somewhere that's called home. It was a home for all men, right? I did a barbershop in salon. So, started a jazz barbershop.
Started jazz.
Shout out to jazz, you know what I'm saying? We was being supportive of that. And 19th from Mifflin, where as though it was a campaign office because he was going to run and I was his campaign manager. So it wasn't, we took all the chairs out. So there wasn't no barbershop chairs in there. So
Right.
Let's do the mentoring program. Let's see what kids that come. Let's see who comes. I told some parents, told some of the kids, and quite sure, people, young guys start coming. And young girls start coming. And then it started coming from 5 to 10 to 100 kids coming on their own. And I said, tell me kids don't win.
Yeah, you had a good movement.
You got a whole barbershop full of young people just not forced to come here.
Live to be Legendary is proudly sponsored by Philly Real Estate Services and Solutions. Are you a Philadelphia landlord in need of expert landlord-tenant services? Look no further. Philly Real Estate Services and Solutions is here to represent you in landlord-tenant court, ensuring a smooth and hassle-free experience. Give them a call at 610-235-7998. Again, the number is 610-235-7998.